opted to suspend all practices and games until April 6th, I believe is the date. And the barbecue cook-off actually today let us know that they're going to be postponing and move it to another date. I have instructed staff as of today to contact anyone that has any type of meetings or gatherings, weddings or whatsoever, to ask them if they're going to cancel to let us know. There are several proms that are scheduled to do so. We were able to meet with the mayor and superintendent of different schools. That is still pending if they're going to have their proms or not. I have not canceled anybody's event. However, we're just checking to see if they are canceling their own event to self-cancel. If they're asking for a refund, we will process that once they're requested in writing. But we're just letting people know that if they wait until like 24 hours later to decide to cancel, then there's a penalty in reference to them canceling late without giving us any type of notice. So we're trying to do all of that. As of this morning at 10:30, under the lead of Phelps declared that they were only going to have 2 people in their lobby at a time because they do not have a drive-through. They also were strongly encouraging people to use their online and their drop-off box. As a precaution, the city of Floresville is no longer allowing anybody in their lobby. The lobby of City Hall, Police Department, and/or Event Center. So what we're trying to do is to encourage people to do things on the phone, online. We have a a drive-through window, and our drop-off to make any type of payments. Municipal Court, and the judge is here. The judge is here, and he will be operating from the window. His staff will be taking messages and notes from the window, but I believe the court is going to postpone any type of hearing for the next 30 days. Is that correct, Judge?
Yes, well, we're still accepting payments, you know. But,
payments, I'm saying reference to how
the governor gave us until March, May the 8th, you know, to take up the cases.
We will push things back to May the 8th based on the next. Now, they're telling us different stories because it's changing every day. This morning, the CDC recommended 50 people gathering. This afternoon, the president doesn't recommend more than 10. So if you look around, we're not in compliance. And so staff is asking for some direction in reference to what you want to be able to do. I know some churches have decided not to meet. I have contacted, well, actually I just went on people's website to see Seguin is actually canceling all of their meetings going forward. Pleasanton has canceled all their meetings and public hearings and their event center. They've done everything for people and not allow anything, meetings of less than 50. So it is a question. San Antonio has declared an emergency, and they are trying to tell people not to meet. So I just think we will need to have an active and productive, hopefully, conversation as to what direction you all want to go, how we want to proceed. I do want to have one more thing, and then I'll let y'all have at it. I do have the assistant chief here. We met this morning. He was in this meeting with Wilson County and the last one we had last week to speak to what's going on police-wise for the city of Floresville. Assistant Chief.
Good evening. Not a whole lot to say really at this point. What we have done so far is I've just sent an email out to all of our officers that all contacts with the public are going to be gloved up. We still need to order PPE gear, respirators, and so forth, but I've got a good contact today that hopefully will pan out, but we need to get that ordered and have them in our patrol cars. Unfortunately, we don't have that equipment yet, but the officers are going to be wearing protective gloves. I've asked them to minimize their traffic contacts unless it's something really serious. It just needs to be, the stop needs to be made. Other than that, they're going to continue doing their jobs. As Mr. Turner said, the lobby is closed. I had the admin assistant contact the food pantry, something we talked about in our meeting this morning. We're trying to get a list of seniors in Floresville that utilize that service. They have a list of names, so it's going to be a little more cumbersome because they do not have addresses. Tomorrow we're going to be hopefully getting with the water department to kind of populate that and find the addresses. Luckily, this list is broken down by age group, so we can identify, at-risk senior citizens in the city that need it. And the plan at that point is going to be to have patrol officers go out and just check on it to see if they have food and if they're able to get out, or if there is some need, we're going to be referring them out to whatever service is necessary to get them taken care of. our citizens and making sure they're safe and everything. At this point, from the police department standpoint, we're going to be working, of course, with the city, with you, Ms. Turner, and whatever we need to do. But at this point, that's really all we put into effect right now. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, the food for the elderly, because, are we gonna have a food drive or something? Can we have a food drive or something for the elderly in case, we come to that point where,
Well, we're gonna try to use the food pantries and those kind of things that we already
I'm
have.
sorry, I forgot to turn on my.
Oh, okay. That we're gonna try to use what we already have in place. I don't need to reinvent the well. We are reaching out to, the churches as well as those, 7 churches usually run the food bank. We've reached out to them in reference to the food bank, and to let them know that we're trying to connect the people, but we have not put anything in place to talk about actually providing food. We just want to provide the service.
Non-perishable food, toilet paper, or just, you know, for the elderly, that if they need it, we need to
We're gonna
be
refer-
ready.
We need to refer that to the social services is already in place. We don't have anything that can be able to provide them at this time. And so
At
that's
this
why
time?
the discussion, but we're going to try to do a wellness check to see where they are, to see how they're doing, and then to turn around. We also have contacted Walmart and HEB in reference to the large crowds that have been, gathering to ask. Walmart said they were fine. HEB asked for a little assistance in reference to crowd control. There's a lot of people in the parking lot, and early in the morning, they're lining before they open up. So we're gonna have a police presence that may just calm people down a little bit, to wait patiently in line, to let them know that they are having to limit how many people can come in and out of the store, and so they can't let everybody in at the same time.
So, Ms. Turner, I want something that we need to have ready. So how can we do that? Do we need to do a food drive? I mean, people will donate for the elderly. Is there any, because I don't wanna, if somebody needs something, we're gonna go to this church and they're gonna say, oh, we don't have any, we need.
Quick question to follow up with that, Councilwoman Kantu. Do we have a status check on the food pantry, where they are with their inventory and things like that?
Yes, I reached out to the Floresville Food Pantry and the St. Vincent Paul, and we've also reached out to Salvation Army with Nancy Hochette. So I think with the policy, what they're putting in place until we can get some further feedback from them, they have it under control for our area. And then we've also reached out to the FIB, so as we have maybe kids that can't come in and get the food that they're going to be providing on the campuses, that we make sure that police officers, as they're doing some wellness checks, they've also stepped up to make sure that we get food to the houses with the kids that maybe need it as well. So.
And also,
Another question, I'm sorry. Is that included with the meals that were provided at the show barn?
No, that's the, I haven't reached out to the Congress Mills with the Meals on Wheels, but they come out of Comal County. That's also a program that they run with. But I'll reach out to Ms. Dimmer with Ag Life Department. Later on, I'll call her cell phone and see where she's at and what we can do to help them as well. But they don't deliver to the home. Those are Congress Mills, so the senior citizens come there, they bring them. But if they have any extra meals and they could help get them out, I think we can help as well with that. So.
Right, if they'd be willing to pack them and we could help deliver them instead of having.
But I think as the pantries and the St. Vincent Paul run short, I think that's a great idea. We can help put the word out through our social media with our newspaper contacts as well, just to say here, the short, is this what they need? So we make sure our elderly that are most vulnerable and our youth are taken care of.
exactly, that's who because that's who's gonna need, I think it's gonna be able to help. And also, if we could set up an 8330 number for it, if they call,
At 800 number?
no, 830 number for the city. I mean, do we have a number where they can call and,
They would just basically have to call City Hall.
They have to basically just call our general line number. It would be a lot to add a new line, and actually, when we had somebody come in to try to service our electrical equipment, our copy machine, and he couldn't get in the door, because we're not allowing anyone in and to set up lines at this point. Everybody's on back order. But we're really being sensitive in reference to that, and so we're trying to see how we gather things, but I don't know if I want to close up City Hall, and so the drop-off point for people to bring food may be a little...
I just want to be prepared in case we have, I don't want to be at the last minute, well, we didn't do this, we didn't do that. And
It is a lot
we
have
have
to think about. And some of our protocols that we already have in place mostly talk about the natural disasters, tornadoes, floods, those kind of things. But this is something that's different that we have to address. And I've heard everything from that we need to be prepared for the next 8 to 10 days to the next 8 weeks. And I know it's been a full spectrum there going forward. So what staff is looking for and asking for is any kind of direction. I don't know if I mentioned that, but any type of social events that we're having at our beer warehouse, our pavilions and or our fields, either adult or children, have been postponed at this time. So the event center will be only events that are personal events, that all city events have been canceled. I've also requested that we cancel all non-essential meetings, 4A, 4B, those kind of things until further notice. We need to limit how much we gather publicly. I think the word is social distancing, and so we're not encouraging to do that, but we do have some decisions to make based on what your discussion is today. We do have some events that have some projects that need to be approved and go to planning and zoning, and I need your direction if you want to host these planning and zoning meetings, Phelps being the major one in reference to that, and then of course your meetings going forward as well. So I listen and we'll take direction from you on how you all want to proceed.
And also, Ms. Turner, that nobody gets their water turned off or electricity. Can we do the electricity?
Well, I believe that is some of the things that's on the agenda for discussion. I do want to remind you that we don't have any jurisdiction over Phelps, even though you do own lion's share of them. But I'm quite sure that the mayor and or other people in the audience can take their requests back. No, I think the chair is here.
Electricity, especially for the elderly,
But that is definitely a Phelps call, not a city call. But I need you all to take action to say that I don't want to publicize that I'm not going to cut anybody's water, but I do want to, we will direct staff as you all decide, and I believe that is on the agenda in reference to connecting those
only
meetings.
add into that, you know.
Yes, ma'am, but I just need you all to take that kind of action because we need it to be where it's something for the ordinance, because the ordinance says you have to definitely collect. And so if you all give direction during this time, then we can make sure that it happens. But yes, I can understand that.
And also, Ms. Turner, I'm worried about some of the employees, like the ones that clean the restrooms and all that. Is there something we can do? Do they wear gloves? Do they wear
All
masks?
employees have
Because
employees that have masks and they do have gloves. However, the public bathrooms that we were able to, public bathrooms at the park, they have all been secured so that
they're closed?
They're closed.
Okay, with that one.
we have collected the toilet paper because we've had
Yeah,
people
they're
fill it. And then the bathrooms that we cannot close up, like the ones in Compart and Lodi, we have caution taped them. And in reference to the park, so that we can discourage, we have put up some barricades and things such as that. So if somebody's in there playing, the police can know that they had to go around the barricades and they're not supposed to be there. I have had a call today about the Park. I can't close the Park, but there are some instances where they're saying that they should close the parks, so we can encourage people to not come out to gather, especially with the small number of being 10 now and not 50. And so I'm just looking for a direction from the board so that the council can decide what you want to do and have staff to move forward.
Well, I think it would be a good idea to close just for temporary till this passes by. I don't know why the rest of the council would agree, but I would say that we need to take as much precaution as we can because we have a lot of people passing by. And like I said, I am willing to, whatever is best for the citizens of Floresville, that's why I'm here today.
So that would conclude my update. I don't have any other updates in reference to the emergency management update, other than the fact that I think we have a preliminary meeting with Wilson County on next Monday to see how we're going to proceed. It is a tentative meeting on staff. That's all I have to update. We are, because of the declaration, just to let you know, anything we have to order, extra supplies and things such as that, overtime that's caused, we are indicating that COVID-19, so that in case there is some refunding, we can do so. The sewer plant is going to go on a 24-hour watch because people are putting other things down the commode, paper towels and things such as that they don't normally do. And we've had a system already, sometimes we'll put in rags, and so we're going to have someone to babysit our brand new sewer plant, because not that it doesn't work, it's just that what they're putting into the system is above and beyond what they normally would do. And so we're going to have to provide them with a cot, because they literally are going to be there 24 hours. And so that kind of overtime and purchase we're documenting, but we need to have someone to do that because we do not want to have a major break of backup. We have also asked the police department to look at their traveling and training, that we need to limit that based on what's required. Chief said he's gonna look into that. As far as city staff's concerned, we're going to cancel or postpone
All of it.
any travel and training. But remember, I'm only talking what's associated with the city of Floresville. If someone on their own personal time cares to go somewhere, I cannot stop them. I cannot quarantine them when they come back. But I would strongly discourage anyone leaving the country because Canada has closed their borders. I believe Mexico is closing their borders. And so it's going to be hard to travel. But we are going to, as far as training is concerned, for staff has been suspended. And then the police department has to look at it a little differently because of certifications. But they're going to start limiting that travel as well.
I also wanted, I'm sorry, no.
So how do we do that to start a drive, like for baby wipes? Because I hear parents that have babies don't have baby wipes.
Well, I don't, but the city's not gonna be able to find it. You try to go to, where will we purchase baby wipes from?
We can get donations, can't we get donations? I'm sure people,
But I don't want, you don't want people, I'm telling people they can't come here and pay their water bill. I can't have people come here and donate things. And I know people sometimes have their best intention. I know we did a full drive back in my old job. We had a closing drive, somebody had been fired, and I had to exterminate the city hall after people dropped off stuff that wasn't necessarily what I should have had. And so I don't have staff to monitor that. So at this point in time, I can't take any collections at this point in time, but that's something that we need to think about and encourage the churches to do as well.
Ms. Turner, also, I think we should continue having special meetings every time they have a meeting, because, you know, I think we need to know what.
Well, these emergency meetings, your attorney can address that better than I. We were able to have this because we really do think it's an emergency. You have to give at least a 2-hour notice. But you're not going to be able to have these on a continual basis because then is it really an emergency if you keep having them on a weekly basis? But you can have special meetings as long as you have the notification to do so. So we have to be careful because even though we're in this midst of an emergency, the rules still apply. And so this is definitely an emergency, but we can't schedule other emergency meetings because then it's not truly an emergency. But if you want to have a special meeting and 2 people will sign up for a special meeting, I can schedule that. I have the proper notification. But this is truly an emergency meeting. I don't think we need to have another emergency meeting unless there's something that truly changes.
I do want to say that we sat in on the countywide meeting on Friday. We do have also every afternoon at 4 o'clock through the governor's office, there is an update to mayors and judges of the state, of which I participate in every day. And so that gives us the latest information available from the state. You know, and Mary touched base on it. There's 57 confirmed cases in the state of Texas and 3 now in Bexar County. Wilson County does not have any county connected to it other than Bexar County that has any cases so far. And so we are keeping up to date with the schools. Well, Floresville is on spring break this week, so they are not providing meals this week for their students because it's considered spring break. But the other 3 school districts, the other 2, Stockdale and Alvernia, are because they had their spring breaks last week. And so these are great meetings because we have superintendents, we have the mayors, we have city managers, police department, and the judge there as well. So anything that comes up crucially, we are on standby to have any kind of special meeting that we need. We scheduled one for next Monday at 1:30, barring that nothing comes up between now and then. So I will try to keep everybody up to date with what is going on as far as we are concerned in Wilson County itself. But I'm happy to say that there are no confirmed cases in Wilson County. There's a lot of confusion. The hospital administrator was at our meeting today, and a lot of people are going into the emergency room wanting to be tested, but that's not the process that you have to go through. So there's still a lot of education. This is unprecedented territory that no one has ever gone through, at least as far as I know, in the state of Texas. So we are literally going by direction from our government, our state officials, and President Trump as well. So, so there's a lot of information that will come out. Again, I listen, sometimes they have them at 10 o'clock in the morning and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So any new information that comes up, I will be passing it on. Thank you.
I'm just afraid that if we get one case, it's gonna be not just one case, it's gonna be hundreds. Because it's not just gonna be one case. If we get reported one case, it's just, you know, that person has already contacted
The local hospital has no kids to test.
I know.
And there's high criteria, as Mary said, to be able to be tested. And so I don't have any
I mean, that's
history
what
to
I'm-
pursue, but I think that there's no confirmed cases. However, there's no test either in the Wilson County as well. And so we have to follow the lead. But there are some tests that's available in San Antonio, but again, there's a high criteria in reference to be able to qualify for those tests.
Well, as long as we follow the, is it the CDC requirements or whatever?
Well, CDC, again, this morning, it was 50 people together, okay? And now, this afternoon, your president the president has said that it's now down to 10. And so it is constituted. Now, I have been watching news, and so it's been kind of interesting because they're saying that they're shutting down Las Vegas. They've shut down a lot of restaurants, Bourbon Street and things such as that. And again, Pleasanton said that they are actually not allowing people to meet of 50 or more. Seguin is following that same lead, and they're canceling all of their meetings. I don't have the answer for you. I'm just asking for direction of what we're going to be able to do. But the things that I felt comfortable in canceling, things at sports events, Pavilion, the beer warehouse, we have canceled those. We have also
Thank you, Mr.
canceled everything. Staff has been very helpful. We've also canceled things in reference to meetings that are non-essential, but I will need you to give me direction on what do you want to do for planning and zoning, because we have scheduled a public hearing, and it needs to happen if Phillips projects want to move forward and some other commercials to move forward. So we can talk about those kind of scheduling things, but that's the only meeting I have not canceled at this time.
Planning and zoning, I guess we'll just keep a limited.
Well, P&Z would need to meet to approve the things and make a recommendation to the council, and then the council would need to meet to approve it. For Phelps, and if I can use Phelps for example, they need to have their zoning, and so they're asking for a zoning change which requires a public hearing. Is that correct, Mr. Attorney? And so I have put the public hearing notice in the paper. We have 15 days, and so on the 25th, we have scheduled that public hearing, that the public know that we're changing that zoning from residential to commercial. In doing so, P&Z needs to meet, and then you all need to meet if we're going to move forward.
Yes.
I don't know if we want to delay that 6 or 8 weeks. You know, timing is everything. And then I have some other commercial developments that I don't want to say necessarily right now that need to be on that fast track as well. So I don't want to lose that meeting, but it's kind of like we have to err on one side. But that is, I would consider an essential meeting so that we don't have to double up and keep having staff. We could think about rearranging your meeting that's set for the Thursday and just have a meeting for P&Z first, and then right after following that, we could have city council meeting, which is on a Wednesday, and then we're done. That's something that's an option that I spoke of today, because I haven't posted that meeting, but I have to post it by when? Friday? Friday. I have to post that meeting by Friday because it happened on that Wednesday. So you all can let us know today if you need to reschedule your meeting for that Wednesday after P&Z, and then the last time we get together and we're doing this social distancing, that's the word, then we can do that. But those are the kind of things we need to talk about in the emergency meeting because it's not the normal day-to-day kind of thing. And thank you all again for coming because I know I've spoken to you all individually about what's going on, but not everybody can hear everything that's going on at once.
I have a question
Yes.
concerning this. We are here saying about people meeting here at Chambers. If people want to attend here to the attorney, can you say that's a violation of their rights coming in here? Or does the declaration supersedes that, or what?
No, we cannot keep them from attending a meeting. We
Well,
can't
good.
do that.
Can we limit it?
No, if
That's-
they're here, you have to allow them in.
That's my point, because we're trying to do this, all this space and everything, and then I know for sure, once the paper goes out, that, you know, people are gonna come out in here and what do you do?
You can't limit them.
You can't.
You have to make the
That's-
doors be
That's-
available and let them come in and listen in and see
They're
what's
right.
going on.
So in that line, I mean, let's just talk about the thing that's happening. So in reference to Phelps, why I need this P and Z meeting, in reference to Phelps, Phelps needs to rezone. When you annex in, you automatically go to R1. They need to have a commercial connotation. Well, try to get into business, but it doesn't really matter in reference to taxes, because they don't pay taxes anyway. And so if you can come up with a consensus to let them move forward so they can do what they have to do. Staff has already looked at that, we have no issues or question. The engineer has already looked at everything and they said that they're fine in reference to compliance, that if we can let them just move forward so that they can start their permitting and those kind of things, then we can move forward. They've also given us letters in reference to that they're gonna have to be on septic and that the city would allow them to be. So we've done our due diligence, we've included your attorney. I just need to know, I can counsel the P&Z if you're going to allow them to continue the process, because it may kill some of our other commercial property if I don't allow them to move forward. For example, McDonald's needs to actually start demolition on April 1.
I have another question pertaining to this. We can make a recommendation to the public if they can help us keep it low and just the ones, the important ones that, well, you know, we're not that much important.
But public is, you can ask.
Right. I know where all this is hidden, but I'm saying, can we just put it out there and say, you know what? This is a critical time. Thank you very much for y'all support and everything. Help us still keep moving the city going without a panic.
Well,
We will give all the information with no blackouts or anything. We will continue. I understand that,
I would strongly recommend, regardless of what kind of meeting it is.
Right.
A church meeting, a family reunion, even a funeral, that you say that
I
we need
know.
to limit how
Right.
much you're gathering in these groups and to keep the groups small regardless of whatever it is. But the public meeting, a public hearing is a public hearing.
that's what I'm talking about.
With any meeting, you
Right.
can't limit,
Right.
but you can't,
Right.
but
Well, like,
you
if
can-
something can wait to come to the state, I can see somewhere up here. How many people I can actually occupy this room,
Right.
then that's a different issue. But if it's a public meeting, it's a public
Yes.
meeting.
Right.
I understand.
And I think what we had discussed, Henrietta, is that if, to basically allow the presenter to come in, do his presentation, and for the people outdoors, or if they're gonna be waiting, so that we can try to limit the gathering, for them to be able
Work
to
with
hear it,
them.
and then if there
Right.
is a comment that needs to be made, for them to be
They
allowed
can-
in and stuff like that.
You know, there's also the issue is every time you get in front of that microphone, you
Yes.
are putting germs on it. So when one person leaves and then another person comes up, we need to have
Yes.
something that, well, but you gotta be careful what wipes you're using on a microphone. So that's another issue, but that's the biggest.
We may not use the microphone, we may just have to talk really, really loud.
Yes.
But,
Right.
Absolutely right.
that's some of the things that we have to think about, because like the audience may be in compliance with 6 feet, you all are not.
Right.
So it's a flood, I mean, I don't have the answer. I really wish I did. I really wish I had the experience that I could bring to the table. But I'm gonna definitely write some of this stuff down, because I'll be ready the next time we have a pandemic. 2020 has been rough on all of us, and so we have to finish out this year.
We have to.
And we're only at the beginning of the year, in the first quarter, right? In the first
Yep.
quarter.
Well, I vote to move forward for the city. So
So.
if people want to come to the meeting, let them come at their own, I should, but I as one want to continue to move our city forward, and that's my opinion, so everybody else can have their
I
own
know
opinion,
that's
that's
not
my opinion.
necessarily something.
That could become
on the
an
agenda,
agenda,
but
too,
we
eh?
could- Can we do it, is that a consensus kind of thing, or?
Well, it sounds like it, but what from what I'm hearing is, you would like for everything to continue status quo and continue to move forward.
Exactly, like you say, we can move the meeting for P and Z like on Wednesday, I agree with that. Move it on Wednesday, have to,
Your council meeting, because see, I posted the P and Z meeting for Wednesday. I've already put that in the paper, so I have to have it on the post, I have the meeting on that date or to cancel it.
We have.
So then you all can move to Wednesday.
And we talked about that being an
Okay.
essential meeting versus a non-essential meeting this morning.
Yes.
And I think that it's a really essential meeting for not only for our community, but for our city and our city moving forward with our sales tax revenue and what some of these businesses can bring in. So that's something we talked about as well, as we look at all aspects of, what is essential, what's not essential. I think this is essential from the EDC standpoint.
I've got some heavy hitters on
And if I may, just really quickly, I think that everything is gonna be pretty much day by day.
Yes.
That's what it seems to be. I mean, right now, we're very lucky because there's nothing in Wilson County. Unfortunately, by tomorrow morning, Mayor, you might be on the phone and it could change. And at that time, then I think that you will need possibly an emergency because then you have found one and you're gonna have to do things a little different from that point. I think it's very, very admirable that you are being very proactive by even being here today and knowing that you are doing what needs to be done for the betterment and protection of your citizens and stuff of that nature. But I think that, Mayor, you're gonna be crucial in furnishing all the information since you are gonna be in on that phone call on a daily basis and letting everybody know what is next. And of course, news media is going to let you know what is up. So we have to keep an eye on that and know that things could change in a drop of a pen.
Well, I would encourage the council to have your days available.
Yes.
Because it might be next Wednesday, but there could be meetings in between,
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
I know
ma'am.
Mr. Martinez had.
I had a question going back to the food pantries and all that. If I got a phone call from, say, an elderly person, and, okay, so who would I contact as far as picking up some food for them or what?
So that's what we provide that information to our police officers today. So
Okay.
we'll get that to the front entrance and I'll make sure to get that to Henrietta and she'll send you an email. So if constituents or the citizens reach out to you, you know the numbers that are available as far as with the Floresville Food Pantry that's located behind the old gym. They're open on Thursdays where they give out to the public, but normally Tuesdays and Thursdays. And the same thing on Tuesday and Thursdays, you have St. Vincent de Paul there behind the Catholic Church. And then Nancy kind of works out of the JP, she's the clerk for the JP, Sarah Kennedy and Poe, but she runs a Salvation Army and that can go help get things purchased, whether it be food or essential items for the elderly or for the youth. So we'll make sure that you have, and then we'll also reach out to the Ag Life to make sure everything at the Expo Center for the county. And so we'll get those 4 numbers and the contacts for you first thing in the morning. And that way you have that in case someone reaches out, you can pass that
Just
information
in
on.
case.
And then we can also post it on our, that's good, we can
Yes,
have
we
it
can post
posted.
it on our website as well, but we want to be able to, as you can imagine, they're trying to get their act together as we're trying to get our act together.
Yeah.
So we'll give you those general contact numbers so that you can have it at the ready, or we'll have it at the ready for the front desk as well as the police department, so that if somebody expresses a need, then we can definitely direct them in the right path.
Okay.
That's
Thank
what
you.
I wanted that way if somebody calls me, the city has all the information
Yes,
that we
ma'am.
need.
If you give us till 10 o'clock tomorrow to make sure we have everything done, we should be able to email and we'll text, okay?
So the citizens of Floresville will know that we are concerned about this
Yes, and we'll put
situation.
it on the website and Facebook as well.
Here, remote.
We have the same webmaster, so the police, EDC and the city, we all have the same webmaster, and he has under instruction, we're putting out something representative as far as what he puts on, when he puts on all, so that everybody can be liked and friended and all those kind of things.
Okay.
And the
Thank
same thing to answer your concern, I think that's why there's not a need to gather, like, have them bring stuff to us, but by putting information, you can say, here's where you take it, because that's where they'll be able to get those meals or get those baby wipes at those, because that's where they pick up anyway. So I think that's good
And
information.
then, since you're involved in all the time, you have always helped everybody, thank you for that. Like, if people want to donate something, like, who
Yeah,
do they donate it to?
We
Yeah, that
can
would-
donate to the pantries and to donate to those who are passing out, so that we can be able to do that. And Ben has been a great resource for his former life, being in contact with school and his social work, he can be able to tell them. But if they want to make donations, they can make a donation to the pantry so that people can get it.
I mean, that's what I want, because I have had people, well, Gloria, do I need to donate this, do I need to donate that? And
So we'll make sure they get the right information in their hands and where to take
that's
it.
what I want.
So someone's not taking advantage of our community
Exactly.
falsely. So these are the 4 places, and if it's not listed through us, then really don't trust them, because these are the 4 places we know that when you give the money, 100% will go back to our community.
Exactly, and then especially for the elderly, because they're the ones that are gonna need, I mean, everybody needs it, but I think right now with this coronavirus, it's,
definitely important. Even HEB is putting out, thinking about reserving a time just for seniors to be able to get in there to shop. And we're gonna be following that, and the police are gonna follow whatever rules they
And
put
they'll
forward.
be able to get information to the pantries when they make some of these wellness calls. That'll say, hey, this is what we're hearing, and so they'll know what to collect the right things for the needs.
I mean, because some people, some senior citizens have no one to help them. And then there's some people that are in special needs that need this assistance, you know, so I wanna be, we're here to help the citizens of Floresville, we're all here to help the
This
citizens
is,
of
and also the
Floresville.
school districts are having those meals that are provided, but we did find out today in our meeting that regardless of where we are, whatever school district, if our school district is not serving meals, other school districts in Lavinia and Stockdale are serving meals, and if they're under the age of 18, they have free lunch, they can come get those as well, and pick up regardless, and they have to service them. And so that's something else we need to be able to be cognizant of.
That's,
Mr. Mayor, we're gonna post all of the information that Ben was talking about, the drop-offs, and see where people can donate.
Yes, ma'am. We'll post it as well as send it to you via email.
just one
And I've been
thing.
emailing Greg as well, so I'll send it to Wilson County Units as well.
Mr. Ortiz?
Yeah, I've been hearing all of this, and it's real touching that the community and the council and everybody's coming together, especially at this hardest time. And we just have to keep in mind and pray for everybody here, that we are going through a hard time, hardship, and that just hang in there, be calm, and we'll see the light. We'll get over it. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Thank you. Moving on to new business, 2A, consideration action to take action on the Floresville City Council request, discuss current and future planning regarding the city's response to coronavirus with city personnel and representatives of other entities located within the city of Floresville. Councilwoman Jimenez.
Yes, Ms. Turner, you had talked about, for your city employees, that you were going to have someone on call 24/7 at the
Yes,
wastewater
we're
plant.
going to have staff 24/7 at the wastewater plant, and so we're going to make sure that we mark those because it's a reference to the virus. We're going to actually prepare you now that you all will receive some budget amendments because of overtime, that we'll be tracking those kind of expenses, anything to do, because hopefully later on, FEMA will have reimbursement from us, and we have been successful in the past for reimbursement. It doesn't come quick, but we have it, so we need to be able to document that.
I have a question, Miss, about that. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Is, I was gonna say, is there any way you can advertise that in the, either on Facebook or on your webpage, that be careful what you put in the, you know, in the toilets, you know? A lot of people don't know that paper towels clog up the, you know, that we're gonna have problems.
Yeah, we're putting together something that we can say and what, you know, what they shouldn't put down, but I don't know how much it's gonna help when people are fighting over toilet paper to tell them not to put down, rags down there, but we can discourage that, and we'll put that kind of information. Someone, I think the judge said earlier, common, my mother used to always say, common maybe sense, but not everybody has it, so, some things we can put forward, but I don't know how much that's gonna help, because, people are at a point that they're running out of toilet paper and they're using other
Not
things.
to put newspapers.
So we can put on online, say, please, flush what you need to be flushing, but I can't stop everybody.
Thank you, Victor.
Okay, any other comments pertaining to 2A?
Ms. Turner, is there any other
Well,
specific
in
items
reference
here?
to 2A, I'm going to ask your attorney, is this where we would move the meeting, or do you need action to move the meeting
That's what I was.
to that Wednesday?
Okay, to move which meeting?
The meeting, to follow it after P and Z on Wednesday, the 25th? Instead of having their normally scheduled meeting on the 26th. Y'all can help me out. I'm out of town.
26th,
The 26th Thursday. Is this where you would actually
This would
insert that?
be the only place that you can do it. I don't see anything else on your agenda.
What about item E?
Item E is
Scheduled events.
scheduled events. Not,
You cannot. So no, it would have to come under this, representatives of other local entities.
Yes, and so you do have a P&Z board, and so if you can, I'm just asking, you can take an action at this point to stack the meetings. It'll help me and staff that we can stack them, and I can notify that the meeting's going forward. Phelps has already contacted me asking, and I need to be able to let them know in the morning that we can move forward.
I'll move to approve, I'll move to approve to move the meeting to Wednesday after the P and Z meeting.
So I have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Cantu to move our regular scheduled meeting from next Thursday to next Wednesday, following the P and Z meeting here at City Hall. Do I have a second?
What time would that be?
It was, their meeting starts at 6, so we'll be following their meeting, and we'll make sure the presentations are short and concise. I second.
Miss, can I say, like, no, I won't, that's fine.
Okay, so keep your, we have a motion on the floor and a second.
It would be immediate following there.
Yeah.
Yes, and I would strongly encourage you all to attend the 6 o'clock meeting so that you can hear the presentation, and then you can just take action when it comes to your portion.
So we'll start the P and Z at 6, and then right following immediately after that, we'll have the council meeting.
Yes.
And again, subject to possibility that there might be something totally different in the lives and after the mayor advises.
change it.
Okay.
Plus, it has to be posted.
Well, I'm planning on posting it on Friday.
So I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any citizens' comments? If not, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Moving on to item 2B.
That may take a little time, so could I ask for, to look at the consideration for C and D, these are a little more simple items for me?
Okay. Moving on to item 2C, consideration and action to approve the reconnection of shut-off water accounts to remain connected during the pandemic of COVID-19.
I move to approve.
This is Councilwoman Jimenez. Do you have any statement, Councilwoman?
Yeah, actually, it was Councilman Ortiz that brought this
Thank
to my attention.
Yes.
He's very concerned for our citizens who, and I don't know, Henrietta, if we have many who do not have access to water. Councilman, do you have anything else to add?
No, it's that, in case if we run into any,
Well, this is for reconnection, so we can
Right.
have anybody who's been disconnected within the last 30 days, then we can reconnect them.
right now.
But those that are vacant, can we agree that we would just leave them vacant now? That
Correct.
They have to touch base on those decisions. But we could say that within the last 30 days, we can reconnect them.
Right.
With no fees, right? But if it's a vacancy or for whatever reason it's reconnected, we can leave them, okay?
Right. I agree. But those that just have issues paying that, to
Yes.
go ahead and reconnect it, like, next hour.
We'll reconnect them
Okay.
first thing tomorrow.
Okay.
No,
No, sir,
as soon as possible.
first thing tomorrow morning, I just want to be respectful, but we are under a water restriction, and I have the water guys working to make sure that new pump is in, and they're doing that, and so I'm using them a lot for on-call, but if you could just let us do first thing in the morning, I'll reconnect everybody. First thing, I promise, but tonight, they've been doing overtime for me all weekend long. When I call out a crew of 2. They have to do it 2, and I have to pay them a minimum of 2 hours.
Question, do we have any disconnected right now, as we
Yes,
speak?
you have disconnections right now.
No, I want them connected right now.
Yes, sir, if that's what you motion.
Well,
I'll do it. If that's what the motion is, I'll do it.
Yes,
So I have,
I so move.
okay, I have a motion on the floor. Well, didn't I have one by Councilwoman Cantu?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, I had a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Cantu. Do you want to stay with your motion or change it
To turn on the connections right away.
Okay. I have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Cantu Do I have a second, Mr.
Is that
Ortiz?
what you wanted, one?
Yes, ma'am,
Okay.
right now.
I have a seconded by Mr. Ortiz. Any citizens' comments?
I have one.
Only because of the,
Because of the,
because they need to
Hold on,
have.
hold on, I open the floor to citizens'
You
comments.
also need to understand that we don't have staff to tell us which addresses are off at this time. So that's why I think Ms. Turner was saying in the morning is the first thing that we'll look at and make
With-
sense. Because we don't
without
have
you-
staff.
Make answer.
No. It's a
Not
I-
to,
process.
not to citizens' comments.
So what she's saying is that we have to call in, the water department staff to tell us what's off, and then I have to call the on-call crew to come in and turn them on. We have always, because whenever time your water's off, you have to make a connection with the user or the receiver, because you don't want to turn on water and somebody's not home. If they have an open faucet, then you do, because I don't know if I can make contact with people, but we have to contact them and say, we're going to turn your water back on. And somebody needs to be at home, because you may have left the faucet on or something, may not realize it, and if I just turn it on, then,
You will be responsible?
yes.
Right.
Yes.
So that, I don't have a chance to put that in order. Now typically, I have called in for emergency connections, somebody got turned off, I got a baby, they're there, I turn them right back on, that's different. But in this case, I may have several different addresses, which I don't know at this point, but I don't want to turn on water blindly and no one be home.
Ms. Turner, we'll wait till in the morning.
First thing in the morning, that'll be a priority. I
I'll
will
wait till in the
contact
morning.
staff
well,
tonight
let's,
to let them know.
okay.
Plus, thank you for
gonna
the,
say.
plus if, whoever has been disconnected, if, this may sound kind of tacky, but anyway, if they're concerned, they would probably have taken care of it today. Like
We're gonna
connect
make, anybody who's been disconnected within the last 30 days, we'll offer them a reconnection. If they're home, we're gonna connect them. I'll make sure that we have enough people to connect first thing in the morning. I will contact staff tonight to let them know that is the first priority in the morning, if you will allow me to do it first thing.
Ms. Turner, and then you can tell them they can make payments.
We'll put them on a payment plan, a payment arrangement,
A payment
and any
plan,
late
right.
fees. Well, that's what I'm gonna be asking on D,
Mm-hmm.
that if there's any late fees at D, that you can actually waive any late fees. But right now, I just need to have them connected, and we'll do 30 days.
The water, and then, make payments available. Just till we go through this, ordeal.
But you all can say more until further notice, and when you make the notice, then everything goes back into.
Okay.
Okay, let's get back to the motion. The motion by Councilwoman Cantu to approve the reconnection of shut-off water accounts to remain connected during the pandemic of COVID-19 as of tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Correct, Councilwoman?
That's correct. Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion and I have a second.
Second.
I
I
have
have one
any-
more comment.
Yes.
Thank you, Margaret and Henrietta, for clarifying that for us, so we
Right.
fully understand the brevity of the situation. We don't want to make things worse.
And I do want to connect them as soon as
Right,
possible.
and, Councilman, to address your comment, it's to, help our citizens enforce these guidelines that are given to us to kind of diminish as much as we can the spread of any virus at this point.
Absolutely.
And so that's the whole point of this, and I understand if some people are unable to do so, but we want to help as much as we can.
I agree.
That's a priority.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Moving on to item D, consideration and action to approve water accounts connected during the pandemic of COVID-19. Councilwoman Jimenez?
Yes, this is so we can continue to keep water on. And Ms. Turner had asked about waiving penalties and fees for those who are not able to pay on time.
Yes, typically we don't take portions unless they sign an agreement for a period of time. We could take a partial payment if somebody wants to make a partial payment, but we can waive the late fees. I think it would be appropriate at this time, and that we will strongly discourage any disconnection for non-payment.
Ms. Turner, is it possible to know that, certain accounts are ones that normally develop late fees on their account, so when they call, it would be one that's illegitimate?
Well, at this time, it's hard to say, because we have some people who are notorious late, and I'll be honest, I was late the last time, so I paid my late fee. And so we just want to say for this moratorium, whatever, we just won't have the late fee. I'm not saying I collect the fee, but we're just waiving the late fee for those who are unable to pay. That way we can be fair and equitable, because there'll be different reasons why people didn't pay. People are going to have to start choosing between paying rent or getting food.
Okay, yes.
Yes, and so we just want to waive the late fee, and of course, strongly discourage, I don't want to say I won't disconnect anybody, it probably won't happen, that we won't disconnect during this time.
Ms. Turner, and this is just gonna be hopefully temporary?
This will be until you all say to stop. I can't put, I wish I could put a date on it, but as soon as you put a date on it, they keep moving on that goalpost. I think at our first meeting, they were saying, weeks, and now they're saying, it's longer than that, so until further notice.
Should we put a time limit on it, or should we just, okay, then we won't put a time limit on it?
We'll just make a note to come back and address it.
And address
Yeah,
it, yeah.
everything is.
Make sure we're not doing
Okay.
that.
Any other questions or comments about this? Do I have do I have a motion?
So move.
I have a motion by Councilman Ortiz,
I'll second it.
seconded by Mrs. Cantu. Any citizens' comments? If not, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Moving on to item E, consideration action to discuss or decide on scheduled events within the city from now until the pandemic or COVID-19
If I could at this time, Council, anything that the city has a portion of, we've actually also suspended or delayed or postponed. This would be in reference to what you want to do with your event center. If you care to have activities, if you care to have activities, now this is, 4A building, city building, whatever, if you want to do that, because again, they were talking about 50, and now they're down to 10. So I don't know, we've contacted people to see if they care to. A couple of weddings have been canceled for different reasons. I don't know if you want to just cancel them and talk about it later. That's a discussion you all need to have, not just listening.
Can I ask about, because you've mentioned that you were calling people that had events booked, what's the consensus?
Do we have a result yet?
Yes, this weekend there was a wedding. It was happening this weekend. They canceled, they postponed it. So they're looking for a later date in the year.
Did you hear anything from the high schools and the proms?
The proms, the Vernon High School told us that they're still having, they haven't shut anything down, and so did the Floresville High School as well.
Technically, they're on spring break this week,
Yes.
both of the schools, so they haven't extended their spring breaks or anything, right?
The superintendent said that they will be out of school, I think today that they said to the end of the month, end of this month, the 30th. Floresville anticipates going back to school at the end of this month is what they anticipate.
Yeah, I think
Floresville?
both did till the.
Floresville,
Floresville.
wanna cancel till the end of the month?
Yes.
That's what the superintendent said.
When are the proms scheduled?
I don't know if
I
they
haven't
have,
heard anything, I haven't gotten a
I don't think they have announced that yet, Ms.
Excuse me,
Turner.
Council, let's one at a time, please.
Okay, so the proms is what you asked about?
That's gonna be May the 9th, the Floresville prom?
So before we get to the Floresville prom, we have the Lavernia prom on the 25th. And according to the mayor of Lavernia, their new superintendent's not in place. I think that person will be in place within the week. But the first prom that we have is April 25th, that's Lavernia's prom. The next prom that we have is East Central, and that is on May 2nd. And that is East Central's prom. And then you're right, Councilwoman, Floresville ISD prom is the 9th. But when I spoke to the superintendent today, Ms. Bates, she said that they had not discussed canceling the prom.
And if I may, Mayor, I would like to ask, is there any contracts? Have we entered into any contracts with these individuals?
All of them have contracts.
Can I have a copy of them so I can see them? I want to make sure that we're not going to be left holding the bag on anything.
I can send you a copy of the contract, well, the sample contract.
How long can we wait to cancel those
What's the last,
contracts?
because
Because I'm
If
willing
they
to
cancel, what's the
cancel
last
at
time?
least
For the full refund?
I'm sorry, April.
Full refund, it's 180 days
Until we
before.
find out.
So for them to get a full refund, it's 180 days before, so we've already passed all of that. What if they are not-for-profits, and so what are the fees?
They get 50% off, so it's about $1,300.
So $1,300
On each one?
on each one.
So it's about-
As I said, they can request a refund, or we can process a refund, because they did pay, all of them have paid in full. At this point, they would have had to have paid in full, and so, like I said, I don't have answers to those kinds of things, and so that's for discussion, is one, do you want to cancel their event and then send them a refund? But your attorney needs to see.
I'd like to see the contract if we could.
Well, and because of our meetings, we've been in contact with all the superintendents of Wilson County, not East Central. But if we sit down with them, that might be something between the attorney, myself, and them, that they will do it themselves.
That would be awesome if they
Right
did.
now, they're worried about school and the meals to the kids, so I think the problem has kind of been put on the back burner. But I think if we do it cordially and instead of just letting them know, we canceled you.
Yes.
You know, I think that they're probably talking about canceling them themselves or postponing.
I would prefer that.
I think that matters.
It would be
Yeah,
nice
they
if they
could
would,
postpone them.
It's a great idea.
Yes,
Yes.
I agree, ma'am.
Mhm.
So what about our other events?
Other events, the weddings that we canceled, I think we cleared on their own, we cleared all of March.
Okay.
So the March events are done. We have notified Ms. Debbie Ball that it is a social event, it's not there. And so her practices and things such as that will not be canceled, even though I know she said that they've been working on sanitizing everything. Her groups exceed 50, now we're down to 10, and so we have notified her that she needs to not have her events as well. She needs the gym, and we have her scheduled. I think her next big thing is on Wednesday, next Wednesday. Practices and things such as that, so we've suspended that because we don't need the gathering of the
And
children.
she did make a post where she canceled all her practices and events, so
She
for the
did?
notice.
She
Yes.
has done it.
She made a post on social media
Okay.
after our email, and she canceled all her practices.
It was us and Central Rivertory that also.
Yes, and thank you for saying that. San Antonio River Authority had a collection
Mhm.
for their things, they've canceled that as well, postponed it.
Yeah.
Is that what they said in the meeting? And they just decided that this morning, so it is pretty fluid. So as we go, when we requested and started this agenda, what's happened now is a lot different.
Mhm.
So I don't see necessarily taking any action other than we need to revisit that maybe. We could put this on your Wednesday agenda.
Yeah, quick question though. So as far as all of our indoor activities and events, right now we have the 3 proms that we haven't decided on, but everything else has been.
There's another wedding in April. We're waiting to hear back if she's gonna postpone, if she still wants to have her wedding. For the next 3 weeks, we have nothing at the event center. They've been canceled or moved.
What about outdoor activities?
Everything's canceled out the back.
All of the
Little
sports?
League really got canceled. They canceled their season on Friday.
All the adult,
The bike,
I
the
mean, they're
bike
postponing the
the
season.
bike
They
camps,
canceled
the
the
hospital,
practices. Yeah.
the cook-off, all of those have been, they actually themselves canceled.
are they going to reschedule?
They're going to reschedule different times, they're trying to reschedule, see what we have available. The pavilions have been closed down, and we're funding those, so we're stopping all of that. So if we could,
All the pavilions have been closed or?
all the pavilions have been notified from now until further notice that we will not have any gatherings. So they're saying, according to the media, even family gatherings, because it was more like a public gathering before, but they're now even saying family gatherings. And so we are suspending those at this time.
And I think, Mr. Hernandez, if we could put this on the
Yes.
next
Can we put
agenda
the item E on the next agenda?
and possibly carry it to the end.
So can I make the motion to table it at this time and add it to our
Yes.
agenda for
Yes.
25th, our 25th meeting?
Yes, please.
March 25th?
Because we may need to come back and visit that based on the activities.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, I have a motion on the floor to table item E. Do I have a second?
I second.
I have a second. Any citizens' comments? If not, all those in favor, please raise your right hand.
Okay, can I still ask another question, or is that closed? I wasn't finished.
Yes, I'll let you.
So anyway, on the April, you said April, I'm sorry, Chas, I can see you.
Yeah.
April the 23rd?
Stand up, chicks.
When is that? That's gonna be April the 23rd, right?
What's April 23rd?
I mean, the wedding, I'm sorry, did you say April?
April 11th, yeah, so April 11th is our next event that hasn't been canceled. We're waiting for, if she's gonna have her wedding or what she's gonna end up doing. I don't know if they're gonna postpone it. A lot of the weddings, the last wedding this week.
Because the weddings, they bring a lot of, is it from out of town or?
Yeah, it depends, I mean, most of
And
the
I,
time.
and if I may just real quickly, but I think that we still have a little bit of time.
Yes.
Okay, we still have a little
We
bit
have a
of
few
time.
weeks.
But I would probably tell you, Chaz, let her know.
Yes,
There
we
is a
did.
That there's a possibility
Yes,
that
we
might have.
contacted all the way till May, so we did the 8-week span that they're asking, and we're just waiting. We heard back from all the proms, and they said they're still waiting to see what the schools want to do. More than likely, they're looking about canceling. We're just waiting on some of these personal ones that are weddings or quinceañeras.
And you contacted them?
Yes, we already contacted them today. We're just waiting for feedback from them.
What about their vendors?
Like the one for this weekend, I know they can move the date. This one for this weekend, she said, as long as the date doesn't conflict with another holiday or anything like that. I know she was looking at doing it Thanksgiving weekend, and the Bill Millers were their caterers, and they can't do it that weekend. So she's just looking at options right
So you go ahead, like, if they want another date, are you booking them, or are you looking to make sure that you have that date?
now. Yeah, we're making sure the dates are open on the date that's open. And we don't have very much open, so it's kind of hard.
Yeah, right.
Trust, thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, now moving on to item F, consideration action.
We did do the beer warehouse as well. So we have Zumba, yoga in there as well. So we canceled all those activities. And they're already, we're canceling as well, they said, so.
Yeah.
And we're doing the same thing, we're doing it here, we're doing the beer warehouse as well.
Madam Mayor, if I may, was there a vote on
Yes.
E? There was, okay,
4-0.
okay.
Okay, moving on to item F, consideration action to discuss city of Floresville employee schedules and office or department hours during the pandemic of COVID-19.
Okay, so we're not changing anything with hours for the reference the city's concerned, but I know this is a pretty broad thing, but one of the things we may have to have some employees work from home. For example, they have small children, we can have extended spring breaks, and so there is a rule that says you can't be in. And so we have contacted, you can't pour it into our system, we're kind of a secure system here, but we have looked into what our computer people, my brain, Wacom can say and what we can do. We've had several different portals, and so we're asking staff to bring their laptops in so that we can get the security information on that, just in case we have to work from home. I'm only asking this because according to our personnel policy, you cannot do that. So we're asking for that. We're also asking that we may have to start doing different schedules where we only have 2 staff here and ask staff to work 10-hour days and switch back and forth. I don't know what the schedule may be, but what I'm asking for is a latitude so that we can work within that schedule. It may get to a point that I may have to cancel people's vacation because we can't have people on vacation. I may have a different staff, so I'm just asking for, I promise you I will not take advantage of it. I just need to be able to have that latitude, and I'm not going to always have an opportunity to be in front of you to ask for permission. So we're asking that we can look at that we can have it so that I'm covered. It's a CYA kind of thing, so that we can do that, and that's what I'm asking for you to schedule. If there's any changes in schedule, if there's anyone I have to cancel, I will send out an email and a text.
But I think that's a good idea.
Ms. Rodriguez, I also have a question. Does Ms. Turner have authority to send people home if they are sick?
Yes, because she's in charge, so yes.
Well, I'm not asking for that because I'm going to do that.
Okay. No, I just want to make sure that
Sure.
no
Yes.
question.
I mean, if they're sick and they don't want to go
If
home,
there's-
that's more
Yeah, if they're refusing and saying, but it's just allergies.
That's
then-
what she's saying.
They got to go.
Okay.
They gotta go, they
And
can,
so then we
And
can,
then they could work from home.
they can work from home if we can get that, but some essential staff
If
cannot.
they can.
And then I have instructed staff, supervisors that, well, I don't have any sick time, we'll talk about it, make sure you leave at that time. But what we need to do is quickly, I'm fasting to make sure, as quick as he wants to have those, that I have to be able to eliminate that if somebody displaying symptoms. Now, you have to remember, in case of
Right.
HIPAA rules, I cannot ask for a doctor's statement. And right now, it's probably hard to get to your doctor, but we need to make sure that they have an opportunity, they're no longer exhibiting any type of symptoms, so that, fever, then they have to be able to stay home. And so I wasn't asking for that, but if you want to throw it in, that's fine. But I've already done that already.
We trust your judgment.
oh, I have a question. Were you finished?
I was just gonna ask if Margaret had an opinion on hours or anything else since she's HR. If there's anything that you need to add in.
We discussed actually this morning in our meeting, we did discuss essential personnel, and then we did discuss if anyone's ill. We had one field worker come in sick with pretty much just allergies, but we said no, we needed to go home, so we sent him home. But we already did all that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And Henrietta, if I may just real quick, I know that since you're gonna talk to Marcom, would that be the individuals or the tech place that would be able to possibly look at telecommunications if need be for council meetings or council members to be able to attend?
So we had a quick discussion about that. As I said, we need to probably have, and I know it came up before, I know when you were talking, that the teleconference kind of thing for a meeting. I know I'm getting off the subject, but your attorney brought it up. And so, according to what she's told me, and I'm learning, is that the public has to be able to see you. In case you're at home, they have to be able to see you. They live streamed, and so the Catholic Church here in town in Floresville, they live stream, so we can live stream our public meeting. I know that's legal, and so we have to help you hook up on your Facebook to do a group thing, but we're working on what we can do with David Drew to make sure that we can do that, but we're setting that up so that in case we have to happen, but it's probably something I need to have in my pocket anyway, so we need to be able to think about going forward to do that. So we don't have the equipment, but we can get the tripod, and those things are not necessarily in a rush.
Well, Ms. Turner, we can do Google Hangouts on our cell phone, and you can see each other.
But the public needs to be able to see both of them.
No, I'm saying on our end, like if we don't have, if not everyone owns a laptop. I mean, I do, that's what I do for a living, so I have
You said
everything.
Google what?
Hangouts.
Never
And
heard
then,
that.
and then in the meeting, we can be on the computer and project it, so the rest of whoever's attending can see whoever's on the other end.
Yeah, that's gonna be something we're gonna have to try and make sure, because different, I mean, Margaret's, I can tell when Margaret's on her cell phone because she's at the window. Because in my office, I can't always get cell connection. Sometimes it depends on where you are in this building, and so definitely, we want to definitely try it out and to practice. So we may ask you all to be patient with staff and we set it up, but we definitely need to be able to have that capability if we go into lockdown. And remember, the president is now saying 10 people, and so we need to be able to do that. But yes, but in the action, I'm not asking for, the latitude that we need to be. This against some of the policies that we have, and I promise you, Margaret will definitely keep me in tow that we will follow everything and document everything as we have to.
Yes, I have a question.
One more question, then a motion.
Okay, if you have, like, the school, they're gonna let them out, and I know that some people have accumulated a lot of vacation, so if they're willing to want their vacation and take care of their children, can you tell them, you can take your vacation, or you can say that?
Well, we're going to encourage some people who have some built-up time.
That's what I mean,
to
they
do
have
so,
built up time,
but,
hundreds of hours.
I have to be careful how I offer that because some of the essential staff can't do that.
Okay.
And so,
That's what I was asking, Ken.
so
Are
it's
we
a case by
making it
case,
important?
to do that. I can't let, I'm in the middle of an audit, so I can't let anybody in my finance department take off right now. So there's not a lot of people who can do that, but we want to be able to have that flexibility. I encourage everybody to use their time. Chad says a whole lot of time, and since we're closing up his event center, he probably can take some of that comp time. He's built up.
Yes, children too.
Yes, so it's going to be a challenge, and it's not just the women. I said to the mayor, can tell you, I said that the city of Floresville is run by girl power. You can look up on the dice and see that it is, but we're also mommies and caregivers, and so sometimes we have to be other places, and so it's going to be a challenge, this juggling act, which is why I'm asking for F to be flexibility in reference to what I can do in reference to do that, scheduling the office, scheduling maybe somebody you work 2 days, you work the other days, and give them mid-shift pay in between.
That'd be great. Okay, getting back to the item on the agenda, do I have a motion with the proper wording that you want to put in there for item F?
It would basically be a motion to allow the city manager to deviate if necessary regarding employee schedules and or office department hours.
I still move on that.
Okay. I have a motion on the floor by Mrs. Martinez, a second by Mrs. Cantu. Any citizens' comments? If not, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you.
Thank you for playing and jumping around with the agenda. Mayor, I'm going to say one thing and I'm going to sit down. I know you're all going to be surprised about that. I do want to say that historically the city of Floresville has, while I've been here, I can't speak to prior to, we have declared disasters before. Historically, usually after the governor, the president or the governor, and then the county declares, the city normally follows and does a declaration. Of course, as I will say again, if this is a new issue with the health emergency, staff doesn't have one opinion or the other. It is 6 in one hand and half a dozen in the other. But remember that once you declare this and you do this, this becomes a law. And so if you declare, for example, I think one of the things in this thing says a size of 250 people occupancy, if you declare that, it doesn't matter if the school wants to cancel those proms or not, those proms are now canceled. Doesn't really matter if that girl wants to find somebody for her wedding, it doesn't matter because she has scheduled more than 250 people. And it's a hard decision, and I'm so glad I'm not sitting up there, but with that being said, I'm just saying that typically, historically, that has happened, and so we can declare it any time that you can't want to, if you have to have an emergency meeting to do so, but at this time, I'm going to sit down and listen to your discussion.
Okay, moving on to item 2B, consideration and action to approve documents, resolutions, orders, contracts, et cetera, to be signed related to COVID-19. Councilwoman Jimenez.
Yes, I wanted this on the agenda so we can come together and have this discussion, given all of the information that has been coming to us minute by minute. Given that the President's guidance is to listen and follow the directions of our state and the local authorities, we are the ones that have local authority for this city. And so I'd like us to really consider the safety and welfare of everybody in our city and in around our city. I'd like to think that we will, that this too shall pass and pass by us and pass over us and around us and not through us, but we never know. And so I just want us to take a look at everything and consider everything for everyone here. Yes, there has not been a case confirmed yet, but there's confirmed cases 30 minutes away from us. And people travel to San Antonio back and forth on a daily, and they come home to their families, and they go out to our stores, and they come over to people's houses, and we continue our daily lives as we should. And it's not to anybody's fault, but it's just, you know, we need to consider everything and consider all precautions. And so I wanted to put this on here for discussion, for all of us to talk about it and think about it, and I'd like to know what everyone is thinking and feeling as well.
Right now, you mentioned, Mrs. Turner mentioned, that if this gets passed tonight, then those proms are automatically canceled, those weddings are automatically canceled without really talking to them beforehand, correct?
Pretty much. If you all are the law of the land, definitely Floresville land, and that if in your declaration, if you declare that you cannot have any public meetings, and that's what this would say with no exemption is what it says. And just to let you know, this is something that was adopted in the city of Gonzales, correct? So we just use their template. So it's we pulled out of the air. We're using what, I don't have to reinvent the wheel. The attorney has looked at this, but I just want to say, if you look on the last page, Exhibit A, all public and private gatherings and public spaces are limited to an occupancy of 250 persons maximum, effective immediately. That means baby girl's wedding was just canceled. I'm not saying we're not going to get to that. I don't know, but I'm just saying if you do that, then you gave my marching orders, and I'm done. We don't have to have another conversation. Prom is done. The weddings are off. I'm just further notice. But we do need to discuss that because we don't have to reinvent the wheel, because if the county does declare, you all need to hurry up and declare, and then we can go ahead about our business. Or if you want to declare before the county, that is your choice. It is a hard choice, but Vegas is closing up. Restaurants are closing up. We haven't closed up anything here in Floresville. I don't know if I have a restaurant that can hold 250, but that would affect Riverbend. And so, please think about it. I won't be mad if you do it. I won't be mad if you don't do it. It's just tell me what we need to do so that we can go ahead and do it. But it is a hard decision. And if you want to think about it and reconsider and put that on your next agenda, or say before a special meeting, to mark it up, to think if the number 250 is too high, maybe we need to get down 100. You could just say there is no meeting, no public gatherings. But when I looked at the CDC today, they're talking about even having You know, because they were telling people, get together with your family, you're home. Yeah, I come from a big family. You know, I should say, yeah, I come from a big family. I think you had a family of 13, Councilman, to me in your family.
Too many.
It's 5 of us, and
Yeah.
so, and we're, you know, we're each all married, and so we bring our kids together, I'm way over 10. And so, it's a hard decision, but you all need to look at what could possibly happen if you don't do it tonight. But this is what may be lying in our future.
And if I may, Mayor, I think that now you have what has been declared around the area. It's something for you to decipher and decide if that is what you want to do. Or if you want to change it up, that's up to you. You are in charge. I would ask that you at least consider it and look at it. Like I said, things are going to be changing on an hour-by-hour basis.
I have a question.
And yes, go ahead.
I believe that the mayor has the,
She does.
Oh.
I was just going to get to that. According to Local Government Code 418.108, she is the presiding officer. She is the one that would be able to make a declaration of local disaster. It would be the mayor, the presiding officer.
so
That is correct.
if that is correct, well, we just pray for her that she makes the right call.
Amen.
Because I would not like to be on that seat.
Well, and I take it very seriously, so I'm in contact with county officials and state officials every day to see where we are at. But again, I go back to the fact that if we were to do this tonight, then our talking with the other school districts would be null and void. And right now, we want to be able to work with them. And again, we're going to the fact that they're probably going to want to cancel them themselves.
And it would be awesome, Mayor, if we could hear from them and see what their thoughts are. And I'm hopeful that they're looking out for the betterment of their children. They will make that tough decision.
Right.
Because you've got to keep in mind that we have prom. And that's a big deal for people.
Well, and Ms.
Yeah,
Rodriguez,
so-
just to reiterate what you're saying, each entity is looking out for their
Yes.
own.
Exactly.
And Mayor, that's what we're doing here.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure, yes,
We're
exactly.
looking out for our own.
Oh, exactly. But again, I got the declaration early this afternoon. I went straight into 2 other meetings. Haven't really had a chance to go over it the way that I would like to. But I also know that I hate to put it this way, but this has been a great opportunity to be able to visit with the other mayors, with the other superintendents, with, I don't have it listening to Greg Abbott every day, but I like the fact that he makes it available with the latest information. And I do take the health of the city of Floresville very, very seriously. And so I personally am not ready to sign this tonight, but this doesn't mean that I won't be signing it in the very near future. But again, it's a day-by-day thing. I was scheduled to go into University Hospital this afternoon with somebody but they're not on lockdown, but I can actually wait till tomorrow. But they've had a doctor who's been confirmed with, even though he's not working there right now. So every day changes.
Retired doctor.
Yes, every day changes. And so, yes, ultimately, I, through the grace of God, and pray about any decision for the city of Floresville that I will make on this.
And please look at the declaration. If changes need to be made, please let me know. And like I said, right now it seems drastic, but you don't know what tomorrow or the next hour or so may bring.
I would
But yes, Mayor, that would be your job. Because I haven't read it either, I just got it, so.
Right.
I need to go
If you guys would, I'll give you please, I'd like your input. You can email me or let me know what you feel about changes of some of them, and it would give me a chance to go over Ms. Jimenez?
Well, Mayor, while we have everyone here, we can ask a couple more questions that can help, maybe edit this declaration.
We can go.
So as far as this has to go for the upcoming events, what is the attendance like for these upcoming proms and maybe the weddings?
Well, the proms have over 500
It depends, like Lavernia, you're looking anywhere 300 over, Floresville's 500 plus, East Central's gonna be anywhere from 1,000 kids.
Yeah, because I'm gonna go to the prom to see.
And I know Floresville has like over 300 kids already signed up.
And we can ask them to break them down by grade level.
I think that would be helpful. That would be helpful to the mayor to know the
Yeah.
size,
He has to leave.
Okay, we just want to mark note.
the size of these events.
Okay, we'll get that, can you let me know, Mr. Eifert, Christian will let you know,
One at a time.